and someone asked him about what can the Jews do to reduce the amount of hate they get. And he went, that's easy. Fail.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I can guarantee you've worked all your life, long hours.
Correct.
Hard work, put everything you own at risk.
Yes.
Taken chances, done without, neglected your wife, neglected your children, neglected your family to a certain extent.
Not been that bad. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've not been there at every Christmas, every birth.
Yeah.
That's why you're successful. You know, you look at the Jews. The Jews are always portrayed as being rich and running the world, and they've got their own country, and all the countries around them are poor. You know, how come we have a country in the Middle East that's a democracy that has no natural resources, but it's a first world country started from scratch 70 years ago, and every country around it is basically at best a second world country.
Yeah.
So it's easy to hate them because they're successful.
Yeah, it's interesting. On Sunday we brought the mole, didn't we, to the
you did.
My mole to the who basically supplies us with information.
And said to me, "You're the most famous person I've ever met." That was a disappointment for him.
He's had a very sheltered life. I was deliberately winding up and saying you wanted to talk to him and all that sort of stuff. So he was getting. But he used to be a hard left. I don't know if he had the chat with you about it. He told me, yeah. Very, very hard left and hated Jews.
Yeah, anti-Semitic. And he's also part Jewish himself.
He believes he's part Jewish. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I think that's just some sort of little conceit.
Yeah.
But he... I was going to say his surname there, but I don't know. He... on the way back in the car we were chatting, or on the way there I think we were chatting, and he was talking about Jews, and there's still vestiges of his belief in the fact that Jews are this cabal who control. And he was saying, how come Jews do this and that? Well, I mean, he's clearly not anti-Semitic anymore, but he's still got these unanswered questions in his left head.
And some of those questions will be valid.
Yeah. But then I said, well, perhaps the main reason is because they're highly intelligent.
Yeah.
Jews, I think the Ashkenazi Jews have got the highest IQs on the planet, apparently. So why wouldn't they be the highest percentage of Nobel Prize winners? Why wouldn't they be running the most successful hedge funds? Why wouldn't they be running the most successful investment funds or businesses? Because if you've got a great brain, that's what you do, isn't it? You know, but that, and I kind of said that to him, he was like, oh yeah, you know, sort of thing. It kind of makes sense, yeah.
Do you know who Thomas Sowell is?
Yes, he's a black American writer.
University lecturer, philosopher, and he was talking about he was at some Jewish conference decades ago, and someone asked him about what can the Jews do to reduce the amount of hate they get. And he went, that's easy. Fail.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Be a failure.
Yeah.
They'll stop hating you when you fail.
Because what you have with Jewish people is not generally, of course there's lots of poor Jews and not successful Jews as well, but a lot of Jews are very, very successful because of their ability and skills or whatever it might be. And a lot of people resent success, don't like it, are jealous of success. But it's very hard, isn't it, to say that guy's successful because he's got a great brain and he's done really well and he's better than me basically at whatever. It's very hard to do that. However, if you can say he's successful because he's Jewish and they all stick together and they all do that, suddenly it's a reason why you're not successful, isn't it?
Yes.
You see what I mean?
There isn't any self-reflection there.
Correct, yeah.
So if you've been successful, I can guarantee you've worked all your life, long hours.
Correct.
Hard work, put everything you own at risk.
Yes.
Taken chances, done without, neglected your wife, neglected your children, neglected your family to a certain extent.
Not been that bad. Yeah.
You've not been there at every Christmas, every birth.
Yeah.
That's why you're successful, not because of anything else I can point to, but from the outside, it's easy to go, well, Lynn's is successful. Do you know what? He must have been lucky. He's had some hell. No. He just did the things you weren't willing to do. He worked harder than you. He may have got some luck along the way, but he made that luck by being open to the chance in the first place.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to always call me the leopard. And he goes, you're a leopard, Nick. He goes, you just lie in wait and opportunities come your way. And then you grasp them. I went, to a certain extent, you're right. I take opportunities all the time, and most of the opportunities I take lead nowhere. But every now and again, one leads somewhere, and everyone else goes, "You were lucky getting that." Well, not really. I attended 100 meetings where nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then one meeting led to a great outcome.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have got that outcome if I didn't attend the other 100 useless opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's easy to judge other people because you don't want to judge yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with the Jews.
It's like that golfing phrase, isn't there? Somebody said it to one of these famous he hit a fantastic shot that went in or whatever. They said, "Oh, you're so lucky." And he said, "It's funny, the harder I practice, the luckier I get."
Yeah.
I think that's the case, isn't it? And you're right, opportunities, that you're lying in wait for the opportunity, but also when it comes, you grasp it. That's the point, isn't it? Lots of people aren't prepared to grasp the opportunities.
Exactly. I mean, good example, we started this podcast.
Yeah.
Our first episode got 12 people watching it.
Yes.
By the end of 3 months, we had 60 people watching it. Who in their right mind would waste our valuable time carrying this on?
Yeah.
When we're not going to make money out of this ever.
Yeah.
But we carried on and carried on. And now, 11 months down the line, we've now got nearly 30,000 people subscribed to this.
Yeah.
And some of our stuff now gets hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah.
That's because luck, hard work, perseverance, knowing what we're aiming for, getting better over time, because when we first started this, we didn't know what we're doing. We just joked about the mics. I messed up, but now I understand the mics. It's that hard work progression, rather than going, that didn't work out, I'm going home. Well, you don't learn anything from that.